everybody!
So we might be wrapping up this season early with a meteor.
Welcome, 20-Side Archives.
Yes, hello everybody, and welcome back to 20-Sided Archives, Chronicles of Umaria, Chapter 1, Shadow Falls. I am Eli, I am your acting Dungeon Master / Archivist for this crazy, crazy ride. As always, I am joined by Seven Winterfall, played by Jared.
Bork.
Chisel Havard, played by Brian.
Woof.
And Redwood of Ellicotrevo, played by Casey.
What?
As you guys can clearly tell, the three of us aren't doing well.
I'm not sure about y'all, why y'all did that. I'm a dog right now.
The maraca has 2 beans left.
The Maraca has 1 bean, and it is fighting for 5th place.
You guys have beans?
Oh my god. Anyways, last where we left off, these 3 chuckle fucks and their lack of brain cells had entered the Feywilds through the help and kindly magic of Paradash and Queen Blackthorn in order to go and ask their dead brother information about his death and the battle that had taken place between the Divine and the worlds of the Fey. It is within this crypt that they now find themselves, having just gotten their shit wrecked by Seven's own blood after attempting to use it to mark where they last were, along with Redwood's primal savagery to leave a lovely little path for blood oozes to make their way to these 3 unknowing visitors of the Feywilds. Seven had gotten his mouth stuck and nearly suffocated to death. Multiple times. But luckily, with some quick thinking on everybody's part, Seven was not only was Seven saved, but everyone else managed to end the combat encounter where we now find ourselves. The blood has officially turned to dark stains within the crypt that you find yourselves. Again, this is not a simple bury anyone type of crypt. This is the crypt that belongs to the royal family of the Feywilds. It is in this catacomb where we now reside. Seven, you had just you had been stuck transformed in this sort of werewolf form for a hot minute in order to help with combat before sticking your mouth into something that you couldn't remove it from, in true dog fashion.
And Devin, still in wolf form, just kind of standing there, seemingly pissed, as to try and cling his lips, his tongue kind of laps across.
Yeah.
To wipe the blood.
So you taste your own blood, and it's, you know, it's your blood.
I've tasted it before.
It's sticky.
So, anyone who would like can roll me a quick investigation or perception check here.
You said investigation or what?
Perception.
Perception.
Yep.
I love when my first roll comes up and it's red view.
Let's see here.
Because I would forget to click on myself as a character.
I'll do skeeve. I'll skeeve.
Steve.
Will you?
If I can find.
7. With your 7.
That's it. So because I'm in wolf form, that's technically a 9, but still
Okay.
not good.
No, it is not good. I think 7, you're still a little bit. You're still coming down from that adrenaline of nearly dying. Your senses are a little bit more focused on calming yourself down enough that you can de-transform. Because remember, you only get a couple of uses of that during a day. So, you're
I
tired.
don't remember
Did we not
establishing that.
establish that?
No.
Sorry.
No?
You only have amount of times equal to your proficiency bonus before it all resets during every sunrise, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That is yes, that is very late in the game, but that is my fault. Don't worry about it. So you're a little bit sort of like out of it at the moment. Tizzle, you're looking in like the sort of the stains left over, and you're like curious more about how the magic was affected from Seven's blood in a way that resulted in this sort of reaction for it to come to life, to not only give enough blood to create 3 oozes, but for these things to suddenly like become sentient, to attack you, to be very dangerous creatures. So you're more interested in that. Redwood. You are on high alert now. You have been this entire time, but your adrenaline is pumping. You just nearly watched your friend and companion, since that's been with you since day 1, nearly die. You're looking around, trying to keep an eye out while everyone else is trying to catch their breath, and you see something blue kind of flicker in and then flicker out for a moment. And you hear like a... kind of sounds like a hollow whistling sound that you would get from blowing through some sort of like wooden tube of some kind. And it comes in and it fades out. And then it comes in further down away and then fades out. If you would like, I will... Oh, well, no, go ahead. Do what you were going to say first.
There seems to be something further through the maze. Something either guiding us or luring us.
Fuck it.
Well, isn't it guiding and luring just 2 sides of the same coin?
It depends on its intentions. Something
As far
else is
as I'm
going
concerned, everything's here is trying to kill us.
I don't know what those were, but I don't think we can stay in one place for too long.
What is everyone currently looking like HP-wise?
51.
Out of
65.
Oh, 28 out of 65.
93 out of 109.
You were eating that slime's ass.
It was
That
eating
is-
my face.
That is the worst way you could have put that. That is the absolute most vile way that you could have put that.
But
I ate
easy.
the ass and the ass ate back.
The fruit of the divine.
No!
No mortal should be allowed to taste.
No! Yeah, that's it. Campaign's canceled. I'm never streaming again. I am never playing as a DM ever again. This is it. This is like quit.
Well, since you want to quit, we could do my campaign.
Hey. Hey.
Hi.
I do think I'm going to cast a minor spell so we can get 7 looking on better HP. I'm going to use Aura of Vitality. It lasts for a minute, but every turn, every bonus action I have, I can cause the creature within the aura to heal 2d6. So
what, 6?
So,
10
think of it,
rounds of 10 rounds of 2d6.
10 rounds of 2d6.
So 20d6. Roll it.
I think he's full HP.
I think he's good.
82.
With it being mobile, I am going to push some of those points around. Jared, how much to get you up to full?
40-ish.
37.
Okay.
I need like 16.
37. Then to me, I can take 14 out of that, and it leaves 31. So we can push to heal everybody before the spell ends.
Okay.
That's
Heal.
a cool use of the spell slot.
That's a good use of that.
Yeah.
You push your magical aura of healing from your time as a druid out towards your companions in order to heal every single person that you are here with. And the oozes come back. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead and roll me that investigation check really quickly.
14.
Is this for all of us or
No, just Redwood. You see it once again. That same sort of wisp happens, but it's a different color now. It went from blue to now orange, but once it flicks out again and returns to your vision briefly, it is now purple. You don't know whatever it is, if it's multiple or if it's the same one just changing colors, but you see something flicking in and out. Although the yellow to purple transition stayed in place, which is about 30 feet away from you.
No, not orange. Okay. Whatever this is. Did anyone else see that?
Huh? Well, S7 turns back to his normal form.
There were more lights. Multiple colors, but more lights. Wait, are you telling me you can't see them?
Are you pointing in direction?
When you guys look down, you see, like, when you guys look in the direction that Redwood has pointed, you do see the same thing. But instead of, the yellow to purple, or orange to purple, you see it go from red to green, and then from green back to blue, and then from blue to like a violet. Ooh, to a violet. Yeah, just like a little club music further down the hall.
I see little wispy things changing colors.
Alright, so it's not an illusion. It's not an illusion just on me.
Seven.
Hmm.
You see, for a brief moment, two of them. One purple, another yellow.
Aye, and there's two more. One purple, the other yellow.
That is either incredibly dangerous or something is trying to guide us.
Considering where we are. Fuck it. Let's go this way.
Wait, we're following the smoky, wispy thingies?
No. Opposite direction.
We
Why?
just came from that way.
Yeah, you guys did just come from the
It's
thought there
a
was-
hallway.
I thought there
It's
was-
just a straight hallway.
I thought it splits.
There is, so the way that the hallway set up is right now, is that you guys had just entered the catacombs. There was 3 ways. You took the right way, and it had a corner, and it's currently setting downwards, but there are offshoots. But these things are showing up in the very center hallway that you're currently in. They're flickering in and out 30 feet away from you. Redwood, you had seen them when they were closer before they went further down, and now they have stopped.
No, it's rather pretty looking at it.
Don't fall for it, Chisel.
I think the best situation is we do follow it in case it's helpful, and if it's not, I will have a wall prepared. So, I will be in front.
Aye, fine.
7 scars
what
from
is-
this experience.
So what is Druid burial rites like anyway, so we know just in case?
I left the forest when I was 13. I didn't spend enough time I wasn't allowed any of most funeral rites. I was kind of a child, infant.
If you want to go ahead and actually roll me a history, you can. But as you said, it will be a disadvantage.
And Devin's just like, well, that ain't right. A child should know these things. I mean, I was shown mine at the first stage of 5.
Why would a child need to know these things?
We all die someday. The sooner you learn that, the better.
10. I think this sort of interaction is really showing the differences between Thevin, your family, and its village's culture compared to that of, like, Druid culture. Yes, your family made you accept really early on, one day you're going to pass. While you may take a lot longer than most other people because you are an elf, it's still going to happen. But it's the more along the fact that you're not necessarily desensitized to it for you. It's more along the lines of your village was a hunting village. Your village was a village that did what it had to survive harsh conditions, being at the base of a mountain and being in a desolate forest, and yada yada yada. Redwood. Funerals or burial for your culture is a very sacred thing. It's not that you weren't privy to it because of your age. You weren't privy to it because no one had died while you were there during that time period. Remember, you were only there up until you were 13. You're now in your, like, 20s. You are still considered to be a child, but you were, like, a human child at that time.
You were a child.
Yeah.
And now I'm 18 again.
You were yes, you are young. You have been reversed in your age.
God, puberty twice.
And honestly, for me,
I need you
we
to,
just
you
burned
know what?
them as-
Just
No.
for funsies, I'm gonna make you roll to see if you develop a voice crack at some point.
You're cruel. You're very cruel.
What? Wait, hold on. What does he have to roll?
I would say he has to roll just like a
Constitution or something?
No, it would
Charisma check.
just straight up be a d20, odds or evens. I'll let you decide when you roll.
Or even before he rolls.
I'm not gonna make you do it now. Hee hee ha ha funny moment. I will tell you.
Hee ha ha funny moment. Very tense.
But as we move on,
We will roll that subtly in the background for everyone else to find out later.
Shrub kind of looks around, sniffs the air for a moment, and goes, "Well, whatever caused your blood thingies to happen, Thevin, I think it's done with now."
Good. Well, it's funny. The closest thing to kill me was something my own blood.
I feel like that would
And
be
your own stupidity.
I feel like that would technically be considered poetic in a way.
What's
Hubris
poetry?
and all.
All right.
What's poetry? Moving on.
Can we move?
Shrub just starts walking down the hallway.
Fantastic. Like I said, plan is I'm walking in front. Something big pops up. I'm putting up a wall. I've got 10 panels of wall. I'm using all 10.
So you all start marching down this corridor of this crypt. The torches have been lit this entire time, providing dim light as you go. You can see that it's like, you could assume safely from like when peering around other corners and stuff that the torches and the lights and everything have been consistent in terms of being lit. Probably some sort of enchantment spell of arcane magic used to like light up the path for anyone visiting family. You also noticed further in that you're now finally starting to see
Graves?
the proper graves and the plaques and the stone and wood mixed coffins that are in this place. Graves
Why
that
would anyone use wood that just rots?
older coffins further, like coffins that were here shortly after the creation of this crypt, are made of stone. But the further on you go, there is wood coffins with
Being
Coffee.
okay, Pokemon references. There are wooden ones further down. And despite what you would assume to be a very long time in terms of age, they still look pretty decently new, as if they were just made. And there's intricate carvings along the wood paneling that makes up these coffins. Plaques of names. Varakshi, the Star Rider. Serendipity, the wave calmer, the storm calmer. Names and titles given to what you can assume people of great importance due to either who they were in terms of relation to their position in the royal family or because of something great that they had done to earn themselves enough respect to end up in here. Each coffin and resting spot is unique. None is the same. Intricately carved in a way that suited who they were in life, and therefore who they will be remembered as even in death. You once again see these wisps flutter in and out, but this one's closer. And for a brief moment, you hear a sort of faint whispering before it fades away. And then, once again, get close as it fades in and out, whispering. And this continues each time you encounter one. But now that you're moving down the path, you continue to see it. However, further into the crypt you go, that's when things start to get older in terms of dates. Dates that surpass the age of Umaria. In that, you know, Feywild's been here before you guys, before Umaria was even created, as confirmed by the Fey princesses. Confirmed by the mural that you had seen carved in stone at the sanctum before coming here. You all continue to sort of look around. The further in you go, there is more plant life here. There is vines and roots growing in from the walls and from the floor here. It's much more crumbled, eroded by weather and the passing of time. Not as well kept as the rest of the crypt, further up towards the entrance. And I think you guys can safely assume that the further out you go from this place, the more well-maintained or even just straight up expanded the crypt has become, resulting in the gradual shift in the wear and tear.
Right, so, you suppose the fucker we're looking for is like the very, very last one?
I have a feeling he would be the first. He was the
Eldest.
not the eldest, but one of the head three of the Feywilds.
Well, I was
Doesn't
saying
make
he's fucking
sense.
old.
more than just him died in that war. Would be seeing well, not the survivors, but the other victims of the war here.
Casualties.
You do see, as you say this, you do see, there is a point where it goes from proper coffins and sites of places of rest to just like a wall of names, as if a bunch of people of the royal family, which is, as you're looking now currently, was absolutely fucking massive in terms of numbers. You see names and titles carved into these deep gray slates, smoothed out. The carving of this is clearly done in magic. The lines too clean and precise for it to be anything but. But the number of names here, if like we're thinking of this as panels, these panels in terms of height, you guys are tall enough that you're like the height of this place is tall enough for you guys to stand, you elven people to stand without needing to like slouch or bend down in order to feel like you can walk through this place. About 10 feet in terms of height, and in terms of like length, say about another even 10 feet. So you've got 10 by 10 slabs of deep gray slate stone with names carved into them. 6 times, 3 on your left and 3 on your right, down this hall here. And it says, for those who have fought and lost their lives in the war between the Fae and the Divine, your memory will live on, and you will never be forgotten for your sacrifice. And then a massive list of names of print that is like smaller than like a penny in terms of its size, just fully down these slates and across, only separated by maybe an inch or two of space on each edge of this slate. Many names written, many lives lost. And I think in this moment you guys see this, and I think you're probably wondering, when is there going to be a point in the history of our realm and our world where something similar like this will need to be erected for the fallen?
Devin's not thinking that.
You might.
Redwood and Chisel might, but I'm not.
Honestly, Chisel's family already kind of has this.
Chisel's family does have it. It's not to this grand of a scale.
It's not to
but
this scale, but it does hold 100 few names.
Yeah. Moving further in, the stone, like the stone brick that made up the floor here, starts to turn more into flagstones due to the wear and tear, and due to the odd sizing of like the floor panels that they had used further in. You see that there are actual proper like rivulets of water drops that have fallen from the groundwater into this place. And you finally reach a point where there is several of these sort of weird wisp-like things standing alone, glowing very softly in this sort of circular space. You can't see in here because this is the one place that isn't lit by torches yet. But you see natural streams of light from cracks from the ground above. It's not enough to illuminate the space for you to properly see inside, but slivers of light that show particles of dust still floating in this space, despite the stillness of everything else. And these multicolored smoke-like things are circled around the perimeter of this room. They don't say anything.
Alright.
They don't move. They just float there. Maybe like 3 or so inches off the ground.
You think we found it?
Probably.
It's very hard to tell whether this is a tomb itself or whether this is naturally occurring. But these wisps seem to stop here.
Almost like they're guarding something.
Let's see what the fucking guardian. I slam on the wall.
You slam your fist against the wall.
And
Go
you
ahead.
activate
85
everything.
radiant damage.
No, but go ahead and take 6 bludgeoning damage as a rock from the archway above you smacks down on your head.
Not even a dexterity save to try and avoid it? Okay.
Divine punishment. You punched a tombstone.
You literally like, let's see what it's guarding. Whack. Bonk. The wisps don't react. But you like look up to see the cracking, like the stone that had fallen. It's about the size of your fist, and it just plonked you straight on top of the head. But you,
I would call that divine intervention.
you look around and you see that the archway here is intricately carved. It's not like the typical squareness of the rest of the hall that you came from. And you also had noticed that it had inclined the further towards this location you had gotten. So now the roof is higher above you guys. But this arch is beautifully, intricately carved despite its erosion, and there are vines climbing up around the sides and around the top of this archway. Plus the little
Can I just
crack
say-
from the stone that had fallen onto your head.
Redwood, can I just say I hope we don't fight anything? I'm getting tired of fighting everything we meet.
It's not a compulsion of mine.
I'm just saying.
It's not a
I don't
compulsion
want to
of
fight
mine.
anything.
Seven in the corner.
Looks over to Thevin, picking up the rock that hit him in the head.
Chucks
Storing
it
it
back up.
No, storing it away for later.
7. When you pick up the stone, please do me a favor and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Hey, you decided to touch a magic stone.
Funny? Alright. So, you pick up this rock, and you feel power thrumming in this stone before it fades. And you think it's probably the reason that it fades is because it's, like, no longer connected to the main source. But it feels tingly. Like, it makes your hand feel like pins and needly for a moment as you pick it up before pocketing it.
Just
Thevin tries looking at his hand as the tingling fades away, shaking it a little.
why are you looking at a stone?
Fucking rock was tingly.
Just
It's prickly.
Alright.
can we get out of? Can we finish what we're supposed to do and then get out of here, please?
Mid my hand feels like I got
Yeah.
shocked by lightning.
Well, don't do that. Let's
It
look
wasn't-
around here, see if we can find any sign if this is the actual resting place of Neuros.
The tingling didn't hurt. Getting hit in the head hurt, but not the tingling. Just
You start to feel a
Weird.
throbbing sensation from where the stone smacked you on the head as you say that. You're like, the smack on the head hurt. And it's like,
Regardless, we need to find our way out of here. Get our answers and leave.
hey, the way out is back where it came unless a cave-in happens.
Honestly, I would not be surprised, especially when you hit a structural beam.
Eli has the most oh shit look on their face.
may need to change my notes for the session. Give me a moment. No, I'm kidding.
It just
Heaven?
Hmm.
There are very many gods who love tricks and riddles. Please do not give them ideas.
Can everyone do me a quick thing?
Dex
And
save.
just no. I do need, however, a wisdom saving throw.
Hey!
Pretty good.
Oh, that's a wisdom check, but it's still a 0.
Well, can you please roll me a wisdom save?
Oh,
There
you
we
do
go.
that to the lad.
I'll go get food while I'm being hypnotized.
Okay. You all. You don't feel anything happen, but let's not worry about that for right now. You see the wisps. You see this room. What do?
Alright. Devin, we need to look around. Well, and Shizzle, we need to look around for any sign that this was actually a tomb. If this isn't a tomb, there's no point in casting a spell here.
Shrub
Look around.
Shrub kind of like looks at this archway, sniffs the air twice. Can you also have Shrub roll me a wisdom saving throw as well? AC space. Okay. Shrub sniffs the air, looks at the arch, kind of like looks at the general area, and just walks in. You watch as like her chest comes into contact with like one of the wisps, and it just like fades for a brief moment before reappearing behind her. She just walks in, taking a look around, and goes, "It's dark in here."
What did I miss?
We need to investigate. Alright,
Anyone got a light? And
I
as
would
she,
ask if other people have a light spell, but unfortunately that's my job around here.
well, Shrub asks, "Anyone have a light?" And almost instantly, braziers alight in flame.
Nope. Does
Does anybody have the Tomb of Neuros?
You ask this, and there is I'm not fucking with you. You're like, "Anyone got a light?" 3 braziers, one towards, like, in a triangular shape in this circular room. You see that up above is a glass dome ceiling that has a singular shattered portion of it that's allowing that natural light to stream through, but it's covered in like dirt and ivy and vines, blocking out a good majority of the light from up top. And the glass of it itself is just straight up dirty from years of like no one taking care of it.
I wonder why. Because this
Hey,
is the tomb of the prince. Why is
Well, everybody here is dead.
Hey, and if they weren't supposed to be forgotten, then why is that all like shitty up there?
The wisps disappear after the braziers are lit, one by one extinguishing, no longer having a need to be here. As these beautiful braziers lit, you don't see any fuel for these fires, so you can safely assume that these are also arcane like all the other lights of this place. The braziers are just a simple golden bowl with a silver or like a tarnished silver ring top. The things holding up these bowls are beautifully sculpted small metal dragons, their wings tucked close, their heads bowed as they hold them these bowls up over their heads. You ask afterwards when these braziers light, "Does anyone have the Tube of Neuros?" And you look and you see that in front of you is a very elegant, beautifully carved tomb.
Well,
I think that's
I
the answer
know-
to their blood.
I know this is
That
big.
feels really convenient.
This is a very big and ominous tomb, but really, we could have asked the whole time.
I guess-
this
I guess we just didn't.
To be fair, I figured if we did ask, they'd be tricking us.
Does the spell that the princess and other princess gave you have a range? Do we have to go in?
I mean, you guys are technically already in the room.
It's technically dead 10 feet, but unless, well,
I still
I
think
have
we
a
need
feeling
to.
if we get it to be able to speak, and we can't see it, I don't think we can hear them.
This thing does look pretty thick in terms of the wood, or like in terms of the stone, as like Shrub just kind of scratches at the bottom corner with her paw.
This is like a door, right?
So the way that the room is, it's like this arch that you're standing, like the arch, and then from beyond that arch is a circular room with that glass dome ceiling covered with all that muck. 3 braziers in a triangle formation, one directly across from you towards the back, quote unquote, of the room, and then 2 more on your left, and like 1 more on your left and 1 more on your right. And in the very center of this triangle formation is this elegantly and beautifully, uniquely carved stone tomb/coffin.
Okay. Like a sarcophagi.
Yeah, sarcophagus.
Right. Devin just kind of goes up to it. Alright, time to wake him up. As they begin to shove the lid off.
Roll me a strength check, please.
Just flat strength.
Flat strength.
Oh wait, I thought I clicked it. Why didn't it go?
Okay. With the 15, it takes a minute. You like, at first you're like, I can definitely push this. You like crack your knuckles. You're like, yeah, I got this. And you go to push it and you're like, okay, maybe a bit heavier than I originally thought. And you kind of have to like shoulder it in order to push it before you can get your hands under it to do a bit of a push and lift.
He's going to kill us.
When
Alright then.
you manage to push it off enough. Are you trying to fully push this lid off, or are you just trying to, like, give it enough that you can see the guy's, like, upper half?
Just enough to see the guy's upper half.
You push it open, and when you do, like, dust kind of flies up, and it's musty, and it smells bad, it's just gross. The body that you see is impressively enough not as severely rotten as you had expected. It has been over 1,200 years since the first revision, and you assume that the war happened beforehand, and there was time between the first iteration of Umaria and the war, because both sides had to recover. So this guy has been dead for a long, long time, and while he looks gaunt and like the process of decay and the like has started, it hasn't gotten very far.
Wait, should this guy be all bones?
Hey, Eli,
Yes?
could I check if this is hollowed ground?
Sure. I will let you choose between religion or arcana for this. Or even investigation. Pick your poison.
Let's go with religion.
You check, and unfortunately you're not necessarily sure. The Fae don't exactly give the feeling that they have a religious or divine streak beyond the war between the gods. I mean, they may have something, like, from what you can tell, Arissa and Paradash and their brother seemed like the closest thing to divinity that you could get in terms of Fae. But in being actually divine and omnipotent and all-powerful, you don't see that being a thing with the Fae. You don't see religion.
I was mostly checking if this sarcophagus was protected.
Oh, if it was protected,
That's what I mean by hollow. Like, the spell hollow.
You don't get a sense of the spell hollow necessarily, but you have a feeling that there's a good chance that the sarcophagus or even the body could have been enchanted to preserve it. How strong the spell was, though, you have no idea.
Redwood, if I die, I'm haunting Thevin.
I'm glad you got a plan, but I'm fairly sure Thevin will die before you.
That's why I said, if I die.
Y'all are right here bitching about how we're gonna die, of how to stop touching shit, but we were invited here. We're on the fucking mission to save our fucking world, and the Fae are just bullshit about it.
So
Thevin.
hostile.
You're in the presence of the body of a dead Fae, and a high one at that. Please calm your emotions.
I'll come when I want to be fucking calm. Just cast the fucking spell. I'll be over here now. There's no corners in this damn room. In the hole.
Then go stand in the hole.
Yeah, I'm gonna go stand in the fucking hole.
Good, thank you.
Redwood. Chisel just
As
leans over
Thevin
to
walks-
Redwood and whispers, "It's like dealing with a child."
As Thevin walks away, he drinks an intelligence mutagen and pulls out an arrow to chisel with.
You drink an intelligence mutagen. That gives you an intelligence boost at the cost of something else, doesn't it?
I think it's wisdom.
So it's a disadvantage on charisma checks.
Nerd potion.
Nerd potion. So now it is Breadwood. It is just you and Chisel next to this sarcophagus. You see the body of Neuros. You have a feeling that he could have been, in an androgynous way, beautiful or handsome in his life. You see that he has...
He's quite hot.
Didn't even get to finish. Despite the fact that all of them were related, you do know that each... you can clearly see that each sibling seemed to have embodied physically what their positions were in terms of who they were in the royal courts. Orissa is very pale, is not like pale in a sort of like sun-kissed sky type.
Unbleached.
Yeah. White hair, beautiful white wings. Pear Dash has very much a wild of the night vibe. She has freckles on her face. She has multiple animal-like characteristics about her. She has her skin kind of has like this strange navy pallor to it. Their brother seems to not only was he the middle child and also, you know, the bridge between both Orissa and Perdash, but he was also the Prince of Dawn and Dusk. He bridged the gap between two very important aspects of the day and night cycle. He has this hair that goes from this sort of sunrise sunset pattern of a deep navy blue fading to that light before it becomes yellow and then red and then orange and then to a beautiful sky blue at the end. He sports his fingertips on his hands, from which they are folded over his chest, are very similar in that they are a black fading into a nice tan gradient on his hands. He wears fine clothes that show status in this world. Gold and silver trimming, adornments of a man who had fought in a war lost, but forever memorialized. You see he's got, which you guys don't understand the significance of, but he wears war medals on top of what appears to be a military-like uniform. Over his hands rest over his weapon of choice, which was a mace. The head of the mace pointing downwards towards his feet. Beautifully carved, intricate, clearly more ceremonial than it was practical. But beautiful nonetheless. Simple signet ring on his right ring finger, to show his connection to his family. His eyes closed and serene. Whatever injuries or whatever he had obtained during the war were most likely done on his body instead of along his face and neck. But you do see a single chip of pointed ears on his left side that kind of carves into before it reaches like the lobe or like the inner ear. He seems serene despite the fact that he's dead. And he sleeps. You see, he sleeps eternally, and you see Arissa has wings gifted to her by the gods as part of recompense. And you wonder if the reason that she was gifted these wings is because she lost hers in the war. Because he, too, has wings. Insectoid, iridescent, dragonfly-like wings. That you almost miss at first because of the fact that the light isn't instantly hitting and reflecting, creating that sort of rainbow-like effect. But it's still faint and it's still there. So, you have this open sarcophagus. You have the body of Prince Neuros.
Well, alright.
Redwood, why is he hot?
Necrophilia! Don't do it!
That is a question for you to ask yourself at a later time. But the spell we have will only allow us to ask a limited number of questions. I feel it is in our best interest to figure out which questions we wish to ask before casting the spell, lest we have an accident with the magic.
Remind me really quickly, speak with Dead. How many questions does it give you? 5? Double that.
Yes! Okay!
So 10.
You get 10
What's
questions.
your favorite color?
What is your quest?
Like in the Dungeons and Dragons movie where it's like, what's your favorite book? I don't read. Go watch
There's
that
no
movie.
more
It's a
guy.
good movie.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but damn is it a good movie.
Alright, we'll have 10 questions. It seems like enough to get answers, but I don't know if it will be enough. Be very careful with our wording. Magic is
Finicky.
a bastard.
Damn right it is! From the hallway.
7? If I hear another word from you, I'm blocking off that tunnel.
Hey, do whatever the fuck you want!
Are you putting up the panels?
Seriously debating it.
Okay. Alright.
He ain't
No,
worth
that's fair.
it. It's just, he's not worth it, that Redwood.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
How'd
he die?
I can't remember exactly
The quest we were
what
supposed to
what artifact we were given in order to be able to cast this spell. Was it a
Was-
scroll or
it
a
was-
token or
It was literally her handing you a piece of paper with the arcane writing for the necessary components to cast the spell. So basically,
Alright.
because it's a wizard spell, you were just able to learn it.
Alright.
How'd he
We've got
die?
one shot at
Why?
this, but we can do it again in 10 days.
I don't want to wait here 10 days. It smells bad.
I'm glad that's not only me that smells that.
I mean, we're in
I
a
don't-
we're in a place filled with dead people, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But I don't want to be stuck here for 10 days.
I don't even know what questions to ask.
Well, we're mainly trying to figure out, like, they said that his death was technically a mystery, right? They just knew that he died, and they brought him here.
I
So
guess.
What if he had a lover with the enemy?
I don't know.
You can't
You
say
can't
no.
say no.
I know,
We
like,
don't know.
I feel like that's question 9 or 10.
I feel like that would be question 6.
either way,
That's.
either way.
I
I
feel
don't
like
think-
that's question 9, and we save 10 for who?
You just remember, Redwood, that they just said, ask him the events that occurred resulting in his death. Because no one was there at the time that they happened. They just know that something happened. The betrayer of the divine was promptly imprisoned, and the body of Neuros given to the royal family for proper burial.
See,
Wow.
that sounds like someone's trying to hide a secret relationship.
I think we should get to it because I feel like when we ask the first question, there are going to be follow-ups. But if we get everything we didn't need to know by question 8, then we can save 9 and 10.
Got
For
it.
fuck's sake. Alright.
Redwood's
It's
curious now.
It's a very sound question.
Alright. Redwood's going to move over the sarcophagus, put both of his hands out, and reach for the veil in the abyss, the place he's only felt, seen twice before. Once through the zombie, and once through Revivify. Neuros. Lord of the day and night. Brother of the Fae. Warrior against the gods. We call upon you for answers. And he's going to just push forward this web, and I think necromancy is just barely out of his normal magical range, so these sort of threads that float from him create almost a spider's web over the sarcophagus.
You have
I
only...
don't know further details to cast a spell.
You... Very long time ago, back further into the mountains, on your way to go and save your draconic mentor from his fate, you had tapped into whatever was keeping the dead that had been plaguing Umaria within its recent years, to cause them to rise. You had researched and looked into, and you use that information now to bring that forward a lot more naturally than you had originally anticipated. It is here and now that that knowledge is being put to the test. You spiderweb your magic over the sarcophagus, encompassing the body within of Neuros, the Prince of Dawn and Dusk, the brother of Arissa Blackthorn and Perdash. The magic glows gold for a moment, signaling a connection to what once was a divine right, allowing families to say goodbye to past loved ones, but briefly before they were allowed to cross the bridge and to the veil beyond. Then it turns into a sickly green that glows. The torches of the braziers of this place dimming, the space becoming darker. The single beam of light from the crack of the glass above that is uncovered in that singular space, causing the sun or some sort of whatever natural light of this world to fall and hit Prince Neuros' face between the webbing, creating this etherealness that is almost uncanny and uncomfortable to see. The handsomeness that was once there despite his state of rest diminished and made grotesque. Now, in this moment, you watch. And you think at some point that nothing's gonna happen because he's still. Then, with a sharp gasp, his hand shoots up between the webbings of this ethereal greenness that you use to cast the spell, slicing through it as if it was truly nothing more than cobweb before slamming his hand down on the edge of the sarcophagus and sitting up with a gasp. He coughs as if dust and mites fill his lungs, his voice raspy as he looks to you and Chisel. His eyes are sunken, and when he opens them, they glow this green that allows him to connect himself to his body once again, stiff from rigor mortis and lack of use.
Prince Neuros, I reach out to you on behalf of your sisters for information. I ask for cordiality, honesty, and, well, I forgot the word I was going to say for, following.
Truth?
Honesty
Or-
covers that.
Honesty covers that.
Obedience.
He wheezes as he speaks, his vocal cords dry from decay and being left to rot. Obedience. Honesty.
Can I do something? I want to give him some water.
Do you have water on you?
Skelly thirsty?
I do! In my water skin, I do have water.
It would be part of the rations.
If you would like to give him water, you may.
Just to get rid of the raspiness of his voice, yes.
Okay.
Ah, yes, thank you.
You
I much needed that.
you hold out the water skin to him. But he looks at it for just a brief moment, staring at it for an uncomfortably long matter of time before returning his attention back to you, Redwood. It is not that he is rejecting it because he doesn't want it. He is rejecting it because he can't have it.
You can't just summon the undead for a glass of orange juice?
No, motherfucker, that's not how this
Oh.
works.
What about coffee?
No.
What a waste!
Truly a good way to wake the dead, I guess, is a good way of putting it if you invite them for coffee.
I have a glass of tea.
Jonathan, where are you going? I'm off to have juice with Grandpa.
Grandpa's is dead. Yes.
Yes.
What if that's the sole reason a person became a necromancer? I want to have juice with Grandpa. Anyways,
about that,
anyhow,
character is.
he looks to you, Redwood, and you see that the glow is coming specifically from his pupils. For the eyes, the irises of his eyes are this rainbow that seems to shift and warble naturally, as if it's just part of who he is. But the colors are muted and dull due to his dead state. I shall answer your questions 10 to the best of my ability. After that, I wish to return to my rest.
Your time is very well appreciated. We shall start with one of the most pressing to be answered. We know that you had died, but there is no vocal witness, so we ask you, who killed you?
He seems to pause on this answer for about a moment. A singular effort brought upon by a second front. A masked traitor among our enemy. Dark in his ambition and desires. He did not give his name in our fight, but he was strong and formidable. The ground we stood upon wasted by the time I had fallen. He wheezes in a deep breath before retching up a cough that creates dust that spatters outward before he takes another deep inhale in.
Well, I have a feeling we might know who this enemy was in particular, but further information is helpful. The masked traitor who killed you, did he wield any sort of power over plagues, death, or the like?
Wielded. He takes a deep wheezing inhale. The dark, as if it were his shadow. As if the blackness was who he always has been. This is really hurting my diaphragm. Did this to myself.
Welcome to
but...
playing undead characters. Or goblins. We are 2 out of 10, and I already don't know what to ask. Did you have a lover?
Oh my god.
Where did you fight?
There is a valley surrounded by mountains within our lands. Great peaks carved and decimated by the might of divinity and their winged soldiers. The valley, blocked by these great behemoths, graced to us by giants. Turned to nothing but desolate waste and stone.
Do you believe you have any information yourself that you have taken to the grave that your sisters would not know?
He seems, when you ask this question, he seems to like claw at his sarcophagus edges, creating a terrible grinding sound that grates on the ears as his nails, once pristine, chip and crack, and the skin, dried and dead, peels from the stone's roughness. As he leans forward and goes, "He has breached across domains that are not his. His prison does not hold him as strongly as his enemies believed. He communes with mortals, uses them like puppets. Spirits left to wander the bridge between life and death against their will and control."
Where is he being imprisoned?
The very place that he rules. The dark, the vast night, where shadows call a home.
Okay, we're 5 in. How can one reach the dark?
He scans his eyes around the room as if checking to make sure that no one can hear. His stiff fingers grab at your arm that hovers nearby, his grip tight despite his very frail looking corpse that he puppets from beyond the grave. He looks at you and says, "It is not a place you wish to go.
That is not an answer.
Roll me a charisma saving throw." Okay. You ask this question, you look at him. You feel something probe your mind, uncomfortable, cold, that you manage to push out. You think that he's saying this not because he doesn't have an answer for you, but because he doesn't have an answer for himself to describe the way that you can get there beyond death.
Hazel, do we know how long someone has to be dead for the symbol of Adar to raise them?
What?
The medals the seasons god gave us.
It's the free revive I gave you guys back during the holidays.
No, I do not.
I feel like I should need to identify that later.
Possibly.
We are at 6 questions. Are there any higher beings we should not trust on either side?
Inhales weaselly as he continues to kind of like claw at you. Not in a way that's painful, but it's strong as he grips your clothes and goes, "Trust defined by action. I cannot say, for an answer would be most biased. But my sisters, if they aid you, mean well, despite their differences.
May mean what?
Mean well.
Mean well. I thought I heard may mean no well. I'm like, what?
Noel.
We're at 7.
Redwood, is it time for my 2 questions?
Those are 8 and 9.
Okay.
Oh, those are 9 and 10. You
9
guys
and
had
10.
already said.
We are number 8.
You just hear Thevin in the background. It was fucking 9 and 10!
Actually,
Number 8.
7. You were
Mhm.
not there, but we will get to that
I
in
know.
just a moment.
I know.
Look.
Oh no. What did he do?
Don't worry
Nothing
about it.
yet.
How can we identify those affected by the Dark God?
He looks you dead in the eye and says, "You can't, for not even the dead know." I wasn't gonna give it to you that easily,
Hazel?
mate.
Jizzle, we are officially at 9 and 10 if you really want to give this a shot. This is using a very powerful spell here with someone with a lot of knowledge. But if you feel that these are important questions,
Admit it, you are curious about these questions.
I am mildly curious, but I do feel like these are a very valuable resource.
Not the smug ass smile. I want to hit you with a 2x4 every single time you give it to me.
Do you know what a 2x4 is?
Yes.
Neuros rises with a 2x4. Now prepare for battle.
Need everyone to roll me initiative.
You asked the question. He only listens to you.
I'm going to phrase it in a way that might actually be helpful. Did you have any unknown relations with the other side?
I tried to bridge the gap between our warring factions in secret, in hopes to end the war before disaster.
Did he say, I tried to?
Yes, he tried to. He did not, I think you get from that he wasn't necessarily successful, otherwise he wouldn't be dead. Like,
Well, it is
Okay,
from a
just
betrayer.
because he tried, he might have succeeded, but still he got fucking stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
well, I didn't
By
say,
a rogue god,
I didn't
so
say
it's not
exactly
like
how he
Could have
died.
been a Romeo and Juliet scenario.
No. More like a Macbeth.
I have a way of phrasing this that might go in according with Chisel's plan. What is the right words to use here?
Oh no, falls over.
Oh, fuck you.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Gotta Google a word.
Boogaloo.
Who on the other side, if any, were amicable to these plans?
Eli
Are you
urgently
Googling what
looks
amicable
over.
means now?
Well, I am looking to check the list of my divine gods because there's 14 of them and you can't expect me to memorize them all.
Why not?
Because I have small, smooth lizard brain.
Some lizards are actually smart.
I've met a smart swamp puppy. He was chill. Gave him a beer.
Of course he would.
Moving on. The All Mother. The ever amused. Unir.
What was that one?
Unir.
Okay.
Or, The Welcoming Hand. I forgot to use his title instead of his name. I know, how dare I. Zethos. Ska. And the ever-giving Zanira.
Ever giving seer?
Zanira. The
Zanira.
ever-giving Zanira.
So we got the All Mother, Ever Amused, Unir, the Welcoming Hand, Dethos, Ska, and the Ever Giving Zanira. Well, Chisel, there's your list.
I don't think that's the question that Chisel wanted the answer to, but it's the answers that he got.
You got a
Now I
list
have
now.
a list to ask.
If you ever come across these gods, you are going to ask.
So
Oh yeah, definitely.
I will give you this one right off the bat, Redwood. The ever amused is referring to Ithis.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Scandalous.
Jesus Christ, my ears.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your answers. And thank you for your honesty. You may rest.
Redwood. Redwood. You say this, and he grabs at you, his nails tearing through your clothes. You start to hear the buzzing of flies as the prince suddenly begins to rapidly decay directly in front of your very eyes. His wheezing breaths become more labored. You see his clothes. Chisel, you also see this. You see his clothes begin to fray and become moth-eaten and rotten and mildewed as he continues to claw and grab at your companion in front of you, drawing blood that caught from these scratched, cracked nails. He grabs you by your collar, his nails clawing into your neck, and his eyes no longer glowing that green, but instead a sickly purple color. A color that you are all too familiar with for but a moment, as he wheezes with yellowed, cracked teeth and breath filled with rot. Darkness waits for all. As he, with cracked teeth, splits the thin skin of his cheeks to dislocate his jaw and lunge forward
I am using primal savagery.
to bite. Okay. So that's a 22 to hit.
22 to hit.
You swipe, you blink, and you are met with a normal sight of a body now back within its place of rest. His hands crossed over his chest with his mace resting on top. His eyes closed. Not a hint of his sudden hostile self there. And for a moment, you feel as if a haze has finally been erased from both of your minds.
My head feels fuzzy again.
I didn't like that. What
I had
happened?
asked for cordiality, and he did not seem to appreciate it.
If you would like, Redwood, roll me an Arcana check.
May I help him?
You may give him the help action.
Thank God for help.
You look at the resting body of the prince in front of you. I think you know for a fact that you did in fact get the questions answered that you wanted, and you had said you may now rest, and he relinquished control, but something else grabbed at it again before he could fully retreat. But you think that
We were being listened to.
You think that though, however, even though that had happened, you also think that... But at the same time, due to the haze of your mind, you think that what just happened, him straight up attacking you, was some sort of illusion. You think that something was trying to scare you off. And was just a little too late in doing so.
What?
7!
Moving
on to you, my lovely friends.
Yes.
You are...
Intelligent friend. Don't forget that.
So, you are standing
hall.
outside of the arch, watching as we're obviously we're rewinding a little bit. This is before he casts the spell and everything.
Making a bomb.
What?
I'm sorry. What?
I take the stone from earlier, and I have my arrowhead.
I
I'm chiseling.
already told you no more magic items. No more. Nope. I'm not gonna be swayed either. You cannot do it.
Also, the power from the stone is already gone.
I wasn't saying I was using power from the stone. I put magic into a stick.
You do not have the wand of fireballs. That is with
I know I
them.
don't have it. I know I don't have it, but I've done it.
I did say that you do, unfortunately, have in fact reached your magical item making limit for the campaign.
I'm fine. I'm fine destroying one.
Okay, which one do you want to destroy?
Let us destroy the dimensional shackles.
Okay.
What are those again?
Find somebody to the plane.
Honestly, that could be useful, you know.
Yeah, then we also have the Horn of Valhalla, the Chime of Opening, and the Figurine Griffin, which I think those are more useful.
We don't really need the
There are
charm.
no locks!
You never know. We're in the Fae. Wild.
We're about to leave the Fae!
Are
Wow.
we sure?
We're hoping to!
Fine, if you want to put the votes in the Chime of Opening.
Alright. You break the chime of opening in half. The magic frees itself from it in a sort of sparking, glittering sort of effect of arcane magic.
No, the
And-
fuck you don't!
You are free to now make yourself a new magic item.
He became the first artificer.
I hate you. Yeah, okay. I'm very lucky. I've made a list of artifacts in case you pulled shit like this on me again. So we shall see
Did
what
I
happens.
create a magical item?
Because last time I was just fucking around seeing what I could do. This one has purpose.
What is the purpose of this shit that you are trying to pull out of your ass here?
Like I said, a bomb, a magical explosion of fire.
I can give you something similar.
Okay, something similar.
You start carving away at this thing, putting arcane runes on this very lopsided stone that came from this place of pure raw magical energy that you are unfamiliar with.
And to be clear, I am making sure it flows with the magic of this place, so it doesn't backfire in my face.
Okay, then go ahead and just to be sure that you can do that successfully, roll me an Arcana check.
19.
Very good. It doesn't blow up in your face. After everything that has happened, I think, Devin, you are a little bit more cautious of what you're doing in terms of carving the magic. You are able to basically make a, what's the spell that allows you to summon, like, a sphere of fire that you can control?
Oh,
Ball of fire?
no. Flaming sphere.
Flaming sphere. You were able to create a summoning flaming sphere. The way that it works is that you have to, unfortunately, it is a one-use item. You have to throw it on the ground to shatter the stone to make it erupt into the flaming sphere. But
Okay.
an added bonus to the flaming sphere is that if it were to charge in a line of approximately 60 feet, it creates a wall of fire in its path.
Cool.
That is about, I would say, like a foot in thickness and about 3 feet in height. The wall of fire would basically do the same amount of damage as a standard wall of fire spell.
Mhm.
So you got something similar. I'm not giving you a pocket fireball.
Seven Chance looks like it. I have fucking find close enough. I can't do what I was planning to do, but I can find a use for this.
You have a wand of fireballs. I'm not giving you another one.
We no longer have that.
Oh,
Well, yeah, as
right!
far as
It's with my
Steven's
family.
concerned, as Steven's concerned, it was a one-use thing.
Yeah,
Which
you
they
We
don't.
lied
gave
to
them
me
the
about.
Second Amendment.
Yeah,
And
you
only-
gave a family that doesn't really believe in magic or know how to use magic.
Further
A
on.
magic gun.
They have no firearm safety.
Further on. Devin, you finish carving this thing, you pocket it. You look around. And you see for a very brief moment your mother moving around a corner.
Fucking what? No, this fucking Feywild trickery bullshit. Nope. Pan it out, Steven. Just fucking forget about it. I'm fucking messing with your fucking mind. Fucking badass probably doing it again.
You hear the comforting call of your grandmother. Seven, I made your favorite.
Fucking no. No.
You hear, along with that, your father, his deep, booming voice, familiar. Seven, come over here and help me skin this kill.
No, they're fucking dead. I know they're fucking all dead. This is not fucking happening. To that, Devin just kind of gets up, super stern, and walks into the tomb where Chisel and Redwood are.
You go to walk in and are
Oh.
met. Yeah, you are met with something stopping you. It's almost as if internally
You're not in this scene.
you. It's almost as if, despite what you know and feel to be true, you can't help but wonder: are they truly here? Is maybe everything that you remember from before all of this wasn't real? Maybe they're here. Maybe that you have to look. You have to. You have to be sure. You have to check. As you once again hear your father and go, Seven! Either you help me or you don't get the antlers.
I fucking love the antlers. Can I make a save?
I would say you can make a save, but it will be with disadvantage.
Just tell me which one.
You will need to make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Yeah, and I clicked it, but it didn't go. It's a 4.
Drawn in by the promise of fresh kill antlers. The sudden smell of freshly baked sugar bread filling your nose. Your grandmother's prominent recipe that has stuck with you through all of your life, even beyond her passing. And the comforting voice of your mother promising safe harbor despite everything that you've gone through, despite all of the suffering that you have experienced, the hardships of losing your aunt Cattail and suffering in coming into a more cordial state of being with your sister. 3 very important people to you are like just down the hall around the corner. They're right there. All you have to do is go to them. All you have to do is see them. And they're right there.
Can I take an arrow and just stab myself in the leg?
Sure, I would say this is a roll to hit with advantage. You would have to hit your own armor class.
Okay. Arrow. I guess I'm just gonna roll basic strength. I guess.
Yeah, roll me a strength. I would say this would be considered to be an improvised weapon. So
Oh, it's a dodge action?
So basically,
Years of
strength
training.
without proficiency, so just a +2 to the roll.
Right.
Yeah, 19's gonna hit.
19.
You take this arrow. You stab yourself in the leg with it. You screech as you... This is like a barbed arrow. This is one of your specialty arrows made to do damage. So you stab yourself in the thickness of your thigh, scream in pain as it pierces through fabric and flesh, hitting bone, creating a solid stop. And you blink, tears in your eyes from the sudden pain as you look up, looking around and see and hear nothing. As the haze of whatever it was trying to drag you away from where you stand pulls away. You stand in the center of the hallway further down from where you originally stood. You don't remember even beginning to walk to this destination. But you're left rattled and uncomfortable as something had violated your mind and precious memories of people you used to care about. But you don't get time to dwell on it as you hear a creak of a lid lifting next to you. That is where we're going to end this session. Thank you so much for joining us here at 20-Sided Archives. We hope you had a fantastic time of me playing dead people. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye!
We're gonna burn this motherfucker to the ground.